Hello everyone, Somber here. Let's have a look at turn number 10 of my game. So quite a few battles and events happening this time. Let's look first here at Zharr-Naggrund. So this was my god and a small army going to take out a horde of barbarians. It looks already like I've kind of got the scripting wrong here. My troops are a bit scattered out and coming in way too early ahead of the god. I wanted them to hit at about the same time. And yeah, they're not doing too well against the barbarians, honestly. The god gets in and is doing fine. I just lost a plague priest there, that's not great. There's a chieftain there, looks like. But yeah, the god routs the barbarians and then finishes them off. But honestly, would have been a lot better off on our own there. Wouldn't have lost any of that stuff. So, not great. Let's see what we lost. So a chieftain, a plague priest, 11 council guard. Oof, pretty bad. 6 storm vermin. Didn't lose the warp lightning through our team, thankfully. But yeah, that was really just the god fixing that. You'd have to be more careful with my scripting and a bit more cautious of barbarians, I think. So we also have some Chaos Dwarf expansion happening in the distance, that's fine. And some Itzans also quite a long way off to the west. And then we've got barbarian hordes pillaging everywhere. So Sleepy Mountains is getting hit. Kratos is being attacked by a horde of wolves, so these are all knocking down my population. Although in Sleepy Mountains I also have permanent plus 50 to province income, so would like to get that money, but I suspect I've lost that province because it'll be covered in barbarians. I also had a good event happen, which is one of the hero events, national hero events for the Skaven, which is I get Zharr-Naggrund. So he is the greatest breeder and kind of understander of giant rats in Clan Moulder, and in that event he comes with a huge number of rats, and then he generates lots of rats every turn and every battle. So I am now going to have a huge number of giant rats. So that's, kind of a bright side. Let's have a look in Sleepy Mountains. I had some PD there, but it's probably not going to be enough. I mean, I'm certain that's not going to be enough. Barbarians are actually pretty great fighters if you're not if you don't kind of had a critical mass against them, then you're going to be in trouble. So a little bit of repel working there, but yeah, they just rampage through. Not great, and there's that money gone. And then they also picked off a couple of my storm vermin. Well, one of them, yeah, they must have fled from the other battle and ended up getting picked off there. That's unlucky for them. And then the same thing in Kratos, but it's wolves. And we've got a couple of council guard who ran here from their defeat, so I'm probably going to lose those too. That's unfortunate. Yep. So not great. This is the problem with taking Misfortune 3. A lot of people don't like to take it. I'm really getting a lot of bad events, but I thought it was thematic for the Skaven, who are always bringing catastrophe down on themselves by their scheming and troublemaking. So 3 provinces I want to take back. Have to be a little bit careful about this one because it might be in range of the Bretonnians, but it is winter. The mountain pass is frozen up. So what I'm going to do is, I had some troops sneaking here. I'm going to send the slingers and my god in against the barbarians. The slingers are just going to pelt them with rocks. The god's going to be right at the front. I was going to just do flying shards and attack, but I actually think it's probably better to just attack, to be honest. Don't take the fatigue, don't risk it. Sending some of my remaining council guard and storm vermin up here with a couple of weapons teams, and we're going to try and take this, and I'll give them some extra slaves to soak up the lance charges. Not going to take the wolves this turn. These barbarians, I'm going to send in Squeal and Wartooth, who has 147 giant rats for free right at the start, and then here's his stats. Every turn he gets another 8. In battle he summons 5d6 and 5, so really large numbers. There is a little bug with him, which is I've given him very high leadership to move all these rats around, and the game has decided that gives him Awe 5. because these are Mod Nation games and they haven't had a huge amount of testing, sometimes in multiplayer, there's going to be some bugs and things, but I've made a note of that to fix. Yeah, so there's no clever plan going on there. It's just rushing them with huge amounts of low-quality troops and shooting them with weapons teams, and finally clearing those barbarians out. It's really been a bit ridiculous, the amount of barbarian action along this border. Elsewhere, I'm sending my mage up to search, and then next turn I move there, and then the turn after I will have palisades up. So 2 months on that, and I'll be building a lab there. Sending out some more scouts everywhere, and yeah, just trying to kind of clean up my lands at the moment. Yep, so that's it for this turn, and I'll see you next turn. Hello, Somber here, back after a little hiatus with turn number 11 of my Skavenblight game. I've already put my orders for the turn, so let's have a look. So we had a search that didn't find anything. We're going to have to start getting some more magic searching going, but for now he's just on his way to go and build a lab. Then we had a battle in Mushwood. This is where my huge swarm of rats was deployed, along with some kind of fodder at the front and a couple of weapons teams to deal with these barbarians that popped up. So we can see the rats, because they're undisciplined, they'll really just swarm around around on the flanks, which is very nice. And they've also got formation fighter, so you can fit 4 into a square. So they're not particularly strong units, but they'll definitely do the job here, and a lot of the damage is going to be done by these 2 weapons teams. So yeah, barbarians just overwhelmed, shut up by the weapons teams, dealt with. We lost some slaves, some giant rats, who cares, we've got tons, and a clan rat. Over in Sleepy Mountain, this is the God and the Slingers, and I suspect I made a bit of a mistake here in that, much like the rats, the barbarians are undisciplined, so they'll just kind of flow past the target that they're attacking and attack things behind it. And that means that a limited number of them get stuck in my guard and the rest get stuck into my Skaven slaves. And I was hoping they would just be shooting at them as they fought the god, but oh well, a miscalculation. Still, they're just slaves, and the god manages to rout the barbarians easily. If you take a look at the unit, which you can do by clicking on it and then clicking on the god and then pressing V, you can see a log of everything they've done in the battle, and you can see it's mostly them just repelling barbarians. Very rarely do the barbarians actually get to attack them. So yeah, those are dealt with. Some Lizardman expansion off in the distance. You can see how effective the cavalry are at just dealing with basic indies. And we had an event in Northangs. So some great luck here. Yet another seam of warpstone. So we really have great gem income now. Yeah, again, that's unrest, but 3 more gems per turn. So really fantastic. 6 death gems a turn. 1 astral, 5 earth, 5 fire. Really fantastic income, and hopefully we're going to be able to use that to make up for some of the weaknesses of Skaven. And then we've got troops starving in Mushwood, which is just because there's so many rats there. So down here, you can see Bretonnia has constructed a fort. I thought they were doing that because I saw a barbarian leader just standing around in that province before. But it's a bit of a worry, and I think that they're probably going to be my target if I'm going to war. I'm probably going to try and get their neighbours, maybe Slaanesh and Dark Elves, to join in. And yeah, they could be our target. Sending my god down to take out these wolves and hoping that I don't get a bump from Bretonnia there. I think they can't cross over the mountain, so it's not actually a risk. Still got my scouts heading out everywhere, just really establishing where everyone is and where all my borders are, and I'm in contact with quite a few of the people who are neighbouring me now. You can see up here that the Chaos Dwarfs and that's their capital, and the Tomb Kings are right next to each other, and that's probably just inevitably going to result in a fight, particularly because the Chaos Dwarf and Tomb King capitals are so important to both of them. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on what happens there. I've got a force of my Council Guard and some Storm Vermin, and they're heading up to deal with the heavy cavalry. I'm hoping that the weapons team is going to do a lot of that, and of course I've got my boys at the front to soak up the lance charges. So hopefully we're able to secure that, and that'll be our border with the Lizardmen for now. Back at base, I am switching over to doing Plague Priests. Those are to lead Council Guard around, and because I'm gonna possibly get a D3 or a B2 from those, and maybe get a bit of blood going in the background. It's not really a priority for me at the moment. Because I suspect that I'm going to end up in a war now, the expansion is over, I'm really just trying to get as many of the different weapons teams as I can, so I'm getting the full 4 allowance of these that I'm allowed each turn, and then Council Guard and using my points on whatever else to bulk them up. One more turn and I'll have my Palisades up here, so I'm sending a Warlock Engineer up there. And I should get some more site searching going, although I'm not so worried about gem income really. We're doing great on that front. Research-wise, I'd like to be going quicker, but we've got okay research. 83 per month, turn 11, it's okay. Yeah, I've switched this over, so I was going to do Conjuration level 3 and then Construction 3 and 4, but I want to pick up Evocation up to level 2 to get Pestilent Breath, that's castable by my Pestilence Plague Priests, and then Minor Warp Lightning, which is castable by the Warlock Engineers and Warlocks. And this is really just so that they've got a little bit of extra support that they can offer my troops if we get into a tricky situation in War 1. Yeah, I think that's okay. That'll be pretty quick to go through. And then we'll be back onto construction. Yeah, so that's more or less everything, although I'm now sending little groups. This could easily provoke a war if they get caught, but I'm sending groups of, small groups of clan rat warriors sneaking into the Bretonnian lands, partly to have a look, because I do have scouts, but they're kind of moving further out, and I've got the troops ready. Partly just to see if they can get in position to maybe do a bit of a stealthy strike on the Bretonnians. But we'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching. See you next turn.